Is it just me, or has like the atmosphere that Call of Duty used to have just disappeared? Like, why the hell Squid Game, the Ninja Turtles, and Nicki Minaj in Call of Duty? That's just straight buns.
And look, I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like they're choosing this and alienating their old fan base and the reason why Call of Duty worked so well back in the day. And I think we have to go back to the very first game, which was boots on the ground. It was about World War II, probably the biggest conflict involving humans in like our history. There was no multiplayer, there was no zombies, it was just straight story, and it was there to show the horrors of war and what those brave men from 80 years ago had to face over the course of those 5 years. And that lasted for 3 years, showing the events of World War II until they ran out of ideas. So they thought, let's bring those same story beats, those themes, and let's bring it into the modern day. Well, it's not the modern day anymore, but you know, the late 2000s, at the time it was the modern day. And I would say, considering how Modern Warfare is very close to how the world is today, it actually had a much bigger impact than looking at the lens through World War II. It showed modern day weapons, modern day vehicles, modern day set pieces, a potential another world conflict. It really illustrated, you know, what war really is. So anyway, there were a few more games full of that, and we get to today, where we've got Ninja Turtles running around doing kung fu karate kicks. Like, Call of Duty has really lost its atmosphere, man. Like, I think it's got something to do with the direction that they're pushing the cosmetics in, not so much the actual gameplay and whatnot, because if you play the story modes or the campaigns of most of Call of Duties, they're not too dissimilar in what they're trying to show. Say what you want to say about the recent Modern Warfare series, but at least the stories have been pretty good, besides maybe Modern Warfare 3. But it's showing what Call of Duty has always shown. But unfortunately, that's not the popular part of Call of Duty. The popular part is the multiplayer and zombies. And the root cause of this is the fact that they're trying to push for microtransactions. If you look at older ways to get skins, guns, camos in this game, it's just straight through microtransactions. So that's why all of these partnerships even like begin. You know, you can buy Call of Duty for like $100, at least it is in Australia, and you're still blocked off from most of the game, you know? If you look back during the Black Ops 1 era and stuff, there was heaps of cosmetics, but they were all actually part of the game that you could unlock. They weren't, you know, all this futuristic or outlandish shit. It was very much grounded, accompanied the aesthetic of what the game was trying to go for. Compare that today, where it's like you get all these emotes and stuff. And I'm not trying to say this is a bad thing. You know what I mean? I understand games have to evolve, but it feels like Call of Duty has lost its self-identity with the atmosphere that it used to have, which obviously those older games were at a time when gaming was still a niche, so it wasn't as mainstream. And now, flash forward, you know, a decade, and gaming's considered a very popular hobby. You know, it is the mainstream. That it's shifted in being more open towards old demographics compared to what it used to be. It's just kind of upsetting to see how they've sort of gone away from what Call of Duty was in the first place. And I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends that preferred that Call of Duty that just don't play it nowadays anymore because they just can't get into what Call of Duty is now. So yeah, I think Call of Duty should look at bringing back that old atmosphere back, which made Call of Duty what it was, and that. So yeah, see ya.